Hey my loves, welcome back for another video. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm Ashley and today we're going to be slaying another gorgeous lace wig. Now this one is some heat. We got some inches going on today. She's 26 inches in length. As you guys can tell, she's straight. For the specs, it is 13x6 transparent lace, 150% density. And you guys can see they left out some baby hair in the front. So let's see what we can do with this one. So here's a quick look at the inside construction of the cap. You have lace ear to ear. As I said before, this one is 13x6. So you also have that nice deep parting. What I will say about this one is it was a little bit big for me. And you guys can see here when I pull the baby hair back, it does fit a lot more big than I'm used to. So with that being said, you definitely would want to add an elastic band for a glueless fit. Even then, I also feel like when the wig is a little bit big, it makes it a little bit more hard to install. But of course, I got you covered on that. Another thing about this one is the knots are not bleached, but I am here to the rescue. I'm going to show you exactly how I finesse, so you can't even tell. If you look at the thumbnail, if you fast forward to the end of the video, you cannot even tell that the knots are not bleached. So step one for that is going to be to tint the lace. I'm going to use this foundation, and of course I'm going to buff it at the inside of the lace. I do a nice, not too thick. You don't want it to put like a whole overbearing amount in the lace, but as you guys can see, you buff that into the lace and then voila, it matches your skin tone completely. Also, before putting it back on, make sure that you blow dry so that it doesn't transfer and rub all over your skin and your hair and your wig cap and, you know, all of that. Next up, we're going to work on the install. So before we even install, we're going to go ahead and cut off the excess lace. And as you guys can see, you pay attention, adding that little bit of foundation made a huge difference. The way it blends in with my skin, I already know this is going to be bopping. And as I said before, it is transparent lace. So the best thing about transparent lace is like a blank canvas, so that if you want to do, no matter what complexion you are, you can pretty much add a lace tint or a foundation or like powder in the parting or inside the lace, and that'll make the wig match your complexion perfect. It's so much easier to use transparent lace to match your complexion than it is for regular lace. Now that we've removed all the excess lace, it is time to go ahead and bond her down. For me, I used a glueless adhesive, and this one is pretty much like a holding spray. I like to go ahead and add it, and then I apply the wig on top of that, and then I kind of let it get tacky, using my fingers to kind of hold it down and press it in. Kind of like when you put your eyelashes on, you kind of let it get tacky after you put the glue on. Once you stick it on, you kind of got to press it in until it gets tacky enough to let it go. Once you get that to that point, I go ahead and turn my blow dryer to a cool setting, and I blow dry. Be sure that the blow dryer is on cool. You'll see just in a moment how messy the lace will look when you use a hot setting. It's almost like it melts everything going on, and it kind of turns it a little bit into like an unclean install. But of course, I've been doing this for so long, I'm going to show you how to get rid of that as well. For me, I do work in sections, so I do the center and then I'll do one side, then the other side. Once it gets dry enough, I do like to use my fingers to kind of like press it in and kind of pull the baby hair apart. I kind of like to almost tease the baby hair. This makes the baby hair look better for me. Maybe it's in my head, maybe it's a thing, but I kind of like tease it and like move it around so that as the lace is like goes from wet to dry, the baby hair kind of dries in it going in different directions. And for me, I don't know, it just makes the baby hair look so much more natural and better. Now look how this looks. Now I really do like using a hot setting to, you know, work my lace in or melt it into my skin. But you see all of that messy tackiness right there on the side? That is the reason you do not put it on a high setting. I didn't get that on the other side or in the center because I used a cool setting. I got anxious, impatient, and so I went ahead and did it on this side. And as you guys can see, it left me with an unclean result. So I'm going to have to get rid of that in just a moment. As you guys can see, it does look really nice once you go ahead and bond it down. Very natural if you want to go ahead and just thin out that little front piece that is like designated for baby hair, and you're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and use that pull method that I always use. Bad habit, guys, remind me, work on me, help me to, you know, cancel out the bad habits and stop doing that. Use your tweezers. That is also a look at the parting if you do a center part. As you guys can see with that transparent lace, this one is absolutely beautiful. You can literally do anything with this wig and it's going to look so beautiful and so natural. I did opt for a deep side part and I kind of curved it, and I feel like that always looks better on me rather than like a straight back part. I know I did the straight back part for so long, but the curve just looks so much better. So now this one is really full. I know it's 150% density. I don't know if it's the length or what it is, but it just feels like it's denser or heavier than what it is. Not in the sense of literally feeling heavy, but it is a lot of hair, maybe because of the length. So it's gonna take a little bit more for me to go ahead and, you know, style it. So with that center part, I went ahead and added a little bit of wax going all the way around, and I love to do this because it cancels out the frizzies and flyaways. It helps to mold the parting, and then it's a perfect styling product to use or pair with like your electric hot comb or whatever hot tool you want to use to really make a difference in making the wig look super nice. And then from there, we're going to go right into the baby hair as well. So for the next few slides, we're going to be working tandem to make the parting look really nice, make the, you know, crown or the lace look really nice, and also to make the baby hair look nice. So once I went ahead and decided what space I wanted to use for baby hair, I wanted to make sure it was thin enough to not look too thick and clumpy. I went ahead and cut it down a little bit, and I'm going to use mousse to go ahead and swoop the baby hair. And this isn't the end all be all. I'm going to definitely go back, and you'll see in just a few minutes, I'm going to make it a little bit shorter and kind of, you know, just re-swoop it really nicely. So this is just kind of like step one with baby hair. I feel like it's always good to do 2 steps unless you're a pro. That way you can kind of mold the baby hair, move on, and then once it kind of molds, it's easier to come back in and really get what you want. Also, I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of layer. Since this is a side part, I kind of like it when the hair has a little bit of layer in the front. Kind of inspired by Aaliyah, but I'm not going to do layers all the way around just because I probably will switch the parting on this one and do a center part. And if you do a side part and you layer it there, when you do a center part, it's going to be a little bit wonky. So you see, I'm going back in with the electric hot comb. This is a key piece, or pretty much my favorite hot tool to use when installing my wigs. I feel like I don't know where I would be or how well I could install a wig if I did not have the hot comb. It's just something about this that the flat iron cannot do. I'm going to go ahead and make the bang portion look as flat as possible. I know it looks like I'm using a lot of product. I am using a lot of product, but this hair is nice and full, as I said before. So sometimes it's kind of like the fuller the hair is, the more product you will need to make it look right. If this was like some thin, wonky hair, you just would need a little bit of product before it looks greasy. And you'll see in the end, once my wig is done, it's going to look flawless, but it's not going to look frizzy or what is the word I'm looking for? It's not gonna look greasy. I'm sorry, I said frizzy. It's not gonna look greasy even in the slightest bit. So just bear with me. It's levels to this, it's steps to this, but whenever you're doing a deep side part, either you want it to be flat or you wanted it to be voluminous. For me, I wanted it to be super flat, so I kind of just did parts, added a little bit of wax, brushed it in, hot combed it, and then moved on to another section. And I just did this so that everything was flat and smooth. If you don't want to use a wax stick, especially if your wig is a lot thinner, I would recommend like a hairspray like your shapers, and that will work well or good as well. I'm actually happy this one is a little bit dense because, like I said, they say it's 150, but it feels full. I wish I would have done curls, because a lot of the times when I want to style hair with like crimps or curls, I'm usually a little bit angry with the wig, because once I do the curls, I just don't get the volume and the body that I really want out of the curls, because it's not thick or full enough. And I feel like this is the one, like if you like to rock curls, this is the one that you need. So we finally got to that last section and we're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and continue to press it out as much as I need. And then this little part here is going to pretty much go behind my ear. You'll see throughout the video that it kind of will come forward. So what I'm going to do, or what I did do off camera, is I'm going to, once I swoop it behind my ear, I'm going to add like 1 or 2 of my bobby pins like behind the ear, and that'll hold it in place so that it doesn't keep coming forward. Sideburns are a little bit more maintenance, like for daily installs. If you're someone who likes to hop up and just be able to do what you gotta do and go to work, sideburns is something that I personally feel like I always get wet in the shower, like this area, because I gotta clean my ears, I gotta clean my face. So I feel like these I have to kind of style or bond almost on a daily basis. A lot of times I kind of will tuck them back if I don't want to. So if that's something that you're into, go for it. But if you don't like them, you can always like cut that area of lace off, or like I said, brush it back and you're good to go. I'm gonna add a scarf because I have this side part going on. I kind of just feel like a scarf around the whole thing will make everything look flat and perfect. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blow dry it, and this is gonna give me a smooth salon effect. I did do this for quite a minute, like a long time, so I kind of cut it short so you didn't have to watch the entire time, and that made a huge difference with everything. Like everything looks smooth, flat, sleek. Now all I have to do is make the ends match the top by pretty much pressing out the ends. I did add a heat protectant. I believe I did that off camera. Like you see how I'm smoothing this behind the ear and how good that sideburn looks? Go ahead and add a bobby pin right behind the ear, or in front of, yeah, behind the ear, not the front of the ear. And that's gonna hold that in place so it doesn't keep, you know, popping forward. Another thing you can do to help the lace, especially because the knots are not bleached, is add a concealer in the parting. Concealer has coverage to it, so it definitely will cover better than a foundation because it's a little bit thicker. So if you have a foundation and that's what you want to use, that's pretty much fine. But again, the knots are not bleached on this one, so we're gonna need a little bit of coverage. So use something a little bit thick. Make sure that it matches your complexion pretty decent, and then go over it with the powder if you need to. In this case, I did, and then I also went in the powder, or went in the hairline with the powder, and that made a great difference. From here, we're gonna go ahead, like I said before, and play with the baby hair and perfect it. As I said, I usually would do the baby hair in 2 steps. So I went ahead and did it the first time, I molded it, and now I'm perfecting it. Now here I am adding heat protectant to the ends. This is very important. Also, I find that when I straighten my hair, especially when it's full and long, I prefer to have a little bit of product in it of some sort. Typically, I prefer a heat protectant over like a serum because I feel like it'll add the shine, it'll cancel out the frizz, but it'll also protect the hair. And usually you don't need a serum and a heat protectant. And also, a lot of serums are heat protectants as well. So like this Cheese Silk Infusion is a perfect example. I've been thinking about that product. I'm gonna go back and get some more because I haven't used that in years. And also, you can see how long and beautiful this wig is. Be sure you shop it and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because I've been coming to you guys with the heat lately, and I am so proud of myself for pushing out these videos. Final look. I kind of pushed the camera at a different angle, so the lighting may not be as bright as it was before, but I think we're okay. So I opted for a side swoop bang situation, and I really like the way it came out. Now what I will say is that I definitely could have tweezed out the hairline a little bit more to make it more natural. But with this one, I wanted to show you guys, when you purchase a wig and you don't know how to bleach the knots, you don't know how to tint the lace, you don't know how to pluck out the hairline, but you still want it to look good, you can actually achieve a really good install without all of that. The knots are not bleached and you really can't tell. If you are a stylist or professional, then of course you would know the difference. But I mean, there are some people who bleach the knots and the wig still does not come out looking this good. So basically what I want to show you guys, and I want you guys to understand, is that if you are a beginner, you can definitely finesse. Save this video and watch it from start to finish and keep watching it. And you guys can see the parting. If you don't want a side parting like this, you don't have to have it. You can have a center part, you can do ponytails up, and you can still follow this method and literally get the same results. As far as the end of the hair, you guys know it was already a straight hair. I added a little bit of heat protectant and then I pressed it out. I kind of used like the rat tail chase method, but I didn't like section it out and, you know, take forever. I literally spent, you know, less than 5 minutes kind of just straightening out the ends just to give the nice effect. Most of us in the mornings when we have school, work, kids to take care of, we don't have time to just go in and just make all these sections and suppress from start to finish. We kind of just gotta, like, you know, go with it. So I could definitely go in and make it more smooth. What I'll do after this is, you guys seen how I had that scarf on? I'm gonna go ahead and put the scarf back on, and then I'll probably like clip it, like what do you call it? Put it behind and put the scarf on, and then you can either do one braid and it'll make a nice wave pattern. You can do 2 braids and the wave pattern will be more defined. 4 braids, you guys get the picture. Or you can like just twist it all the way around, because again, this hair is pretty long. And then, you know, just do a really tight bun down below. And honestly, I don't really know how to preserve the straight hair as far as going to bed and wanting the hair to stay straight, except to, again, like put your scarf on how I had it on in the video. Kind of just push the hair behind you and kind of try to sleep pretty. But as far as like putting it in a bonnet or putting it up, it's almost always going to have a crimp or some sort of wave. So you might as well be more in control of what you do by, like, again, putting it into a big tight bun or 2 buns, so that at least to make a wave pattern. And if you want to go ahead and re-straighten it out, it won't be as hard. You can also like wrap it. I know, you know, back in the day we'd wrap our natural hair. I've never tried to wrap a wig, especially since it's not really glued in installed. So I don't know how that would come out. But again, you know, just be, you know, creative and see what works for you. I'm looking in the mirror a lot because I actually really love this wig. So this is going to be my look and my vibe. I'm planning a DIY photo shoot with the family, my husband and the kids. So we're definitely going to be wearing this hair. I probably will go in and tweeze it out a little bit more, just so it'll be a little bit more natural. But this is definitely the vibe. And you can add, you know, a hairband. You can add some hair clips. You can do whatever to dress it up. You can also bring this forward, and the more you wear the hair like this, it'll kind of train it to kind of stay to the side like this. But you can, you know, bring it forward and add some curls to it. So you can do a many of things with this one. So this one did come from Julia Hair, and this is the packaging here. As always, inside you have the bag that the wig was in. They always give wig caps black. I really don't use these, but you know, it's good to have. And they also gave the elastic bands. And that's pretty much it. So of course, you guys know I'm going to do a little B-roll and take some really nice pictures. Hopefully you guys will check them out on the gram, because you guys know I've been trying to do it up for the gram. Lately I've been just putting up my pictures that I take for my hair videos on the gram, and you know, try to have some fun with that. But you know, I'm trying to do some little fun like Instagram photo shoots coming up soon. So make sure you follow me there, because I'm trying to up my content there. I really love it there these days. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Julia Hair. A link to this wig and a list and full details of everything you need to know about this wig are in the description box. Also, links to everything I used, my electric hot comb, the hairspray I used to bond the wig down, the blow dryer, literally everything, the parting powders and all of that are in the description box, so make sure you check that out as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe. It'll help me out so much. We have finally hit 250,000 subscribers, or we should be, hopefully by the time I upload this video. If not, it'll be tomorrow. So let's get to 500, a very, very ambitious goal, but I know we can do it if you guys help me out just a little bit by sharing my videos and subscribing. So yeah, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Smooches!